All right, everybody. This is going to be an amazing topic for all of my wonderful nerdy and geeky followers out there. You all know who you are. You are wonderful people. We have Alicia, and she talks about resetting your genes and working with your DNA to live your best life in a very holistic way. It is fabulous. It is all encompassing, and I cannot wait to jump right in. So I would love to hear about this, and I know my listeners would too. Working specifically with genes and DNA sounds very scientific, is it?
Yes, it is in a way, but when you are able to implement it, it's actually not scientific at all. So yeah, this is the whole thing. This is the whole thing about how I got into this. So first of all, Lily, thank you so much for having me on your podcast. It's an honor to be here and to know this new community that doesn't know me. And I know we talk about holistic. Okay. First of all, so let me tell you who I am and why I do what I do. Okay, first of all, I'm actually from Mexico and I live in Canada. I've been in Canada 37 years. And I'm a biologist for training. I have a PhD in botany. I've been teaching higher education for over 25 years, which I'm almost ready to get out of it because I'm tired of marking, basically. But one important thing is that about 14 years ago, I became a holistic nutritionist. Why? Because I needed to take care of me. I needed to find out how does lifestyle in a holistic way can take care of me. So I became a holistic nutritionist. And of course, I started with diet, but it's everything. It's not just diet. It's the way you think. It's the way you behave. It's the way you sleep. It's the way you pee, the way you poop, the way you drink, everything. And so anyway, I started changing my lifestyle and I changed. I totally changed. I just felt like not only full of energy, I felt happier. Even my kids were happier. Like it was just the whole family was actually awesome. And then about 6 years ago, one of the companies that we as holistic nutritionists recommend, because, we like their supplements, opened a platform called Pure Genomics. And I jumped into it because I'm a biologist, right? I jumped into it. And I was just in awe with what I saw. And then I thought, whoa, hold on a second. These people have typos. But when you have typos on 4 letters, which is your DNA, A, T, G's, and C's, one typo is huge. It is huge. It changes completely the gene. And so I was very cautious about sharing it, because I knew that it was complex and that if I had typos, I couldn't really see exactly what was going on. So last year, my business partner kept talking about it, and I'm like, I'm not ready. I am scared. There's typos. I don't know, and all that. Anyway, so I started following somebody who is my mentor, Dr. Penny Kendall-Reed. She's a naturopath that lives in Toronto, who wrote an amazing book called Fix Your Genes to Fit Your Genes. So anyway, I started following Dr. Penny, and then I realized, wow, this is amazing. She realized the same thing about the typos, and she created a platform in which I can take people's DNA and get a 66-page report, very scientific. And I was, I read it. I read mine 3 times. And I'm like, how is she expecting people to understand this? This is just too scientific, as you said. It's just too scientific, based on a lot of science and a lot of research. And I said, okay, how can I translate this to a mom? And so anyway, we created a program in English last year, and we just wanted 8 people to test it. We ended up with 16. And to make the long story short, we're on our 3rd time doing this and implementing it. And the results are phenomenal. And then I decided, they were asking me for it in Spanish because I'm bilingual. And I'm like, that's going to be a lot of work. No, I can't. But they insisted so much. Okay, I'll do it in Spanish. Lily, 32 people showed up to my Spanish program. And not only that, what happens if I can reset my genes? How do I reset my genes? Basically, you change the environment. We have all heard about epigenetics.
Mhm.
Even if you have a gene, doesn't mean that the gene will be expressed because I'm changing the environment. So I started learning a lot about me first, about how I detox, how I sleep, how much neurotransmitters I have, what is the best way to eat. I was already eating well, I thought, but now I optimize the way I eat. And whoa, I started feeling more energy. I started feeling more relaxed. I used to be like a nonstop, nonstop. I am a different person. And so anyway, so I opened this up for people, and all of a sudden I start getting weird things that I didn't know nothing about. And I'm like, okay, let's look at your DNA. Let's blah, blah, blah. I've had people, Lily, with cancer, with MS, with vitiligo, with rheumatoid arthritis, just to mention some. Okay, people that are extremely tired, that they cannot figure out why is it they're so tired. And then we reset we reset everybody's genes. But the only way of doing this is in a group, because I don't have time to do one-on-ones. Mm-hmm. And also I'm doing it in 2 languages. And so anyway, the results we're getting are incredible, Just to give you a couple of examples, one person with MS, her pain was up to an 8. She's now down to a 1. She's sleeping all night. I have an 8-year-old girl in Mexico with vitiligo. The vitiligo is disappearing. Obviously, because she's younger, it's faster than other people. I have an 80-year-old with vitiligo, and of course, she's going to take a bit longer than an 8-year-old because she's been exposed to toxins way more than an 8-year-old. And then I'm finding all kinds of things, and everybody's asking me, so who did you serve? I'm like, I don't know anymore. I just don't know. I just open it up to people that have health challenges. Mm-hmm. And optimizing your sleep, optimizing your train of thought, optimizing your mindset. It all makes sense to me. Because the minute people that are in pain don't have pain, then all of a sudden they're a different person. Right?
It's transformative. And I mean, when people think about their genes and their DNA, unless they know better, they're like, no, this is what I was born, like, this is it. Like, it's set in stone. There's no.
I got it. Yeah.
And that's such a misconception. There is almost nothing about us that we can't change somehow. Like, you can change your body with tattoos and surgery. You can change your DNA if you know how. And you're the one with the know-how. Like, you're the one who's like, yes, let me teach you in 2 languages, by the way. I will teach you. So that is just fabulous. And when you say like, oh, you'll treat everyone, I feel like, your ideal client is someone who is open to changing. And that is, and someone who is tired of living the same, because even if it's not MS, if it's someone who just has general fatigue or like overwhelmed, these are the things that can help it too. And I know the first time that I started like really tuning into my body and like eating what my body actually needed instead of like what my ego wanted, oh, it changed so much. Like, people ask me, how do I know, without like blood tests, how do I know where my levels are all the time? I'm like, I feel it. Like, I know when I need to eat red meat. I know, like, I will show everyone. This is what is next to me. It is a giant bowl of blueberries. It will be gone by the end of the day because I checked in with my body and it was like, you need antioxidants. You need this. So this is what's going to be happening. And so I feel like what you offer is to give people an easier life that we're always meant to have. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's preventing anything that you're scared of. It's not in your genes, like it's Well, it's in your genes, but you can change that. You can rewrite your future just because, just because my mom had Alzheimer's, I am not gonna get that
Mhm.
because I'm doing everything so that I don't get that. Because I don't want that for my kids. I don't want that for myself, right?
Yeah. And when you say your kids, it's I think people forget that with genetics and stuff, when you help yourself, you are helping generations because I think so just hereditary stuff. On my mom's side of the family, there's macular degeneration, like you go blind. And it's on my dad's side of the family, there's like a risk of diabetes or whatever. And like for me, I'm like, oh, those are things that I'm aware of and things that I want to change. But I think like what would mean so much more to me is like, okay, if I could fix this, you're telling me that my future children will never, this will never even have to cross their mind. I'm like,
That's right.
what a gift you're giving them. What a gift. Like that's Christmas. That's the Easter bunny. That's the unicorn. Like not even for yourself. Yourself is great. Of course, do things for yourself. But the idea of like these things that ruin families, not even just people's lives, but I mean, when you have to take care of family members, it gets messy. And think of
It
just
is.
removing that and giving everyone the freedom and the possibility of having a better life. Like that's profound. And it's not easy in the sense that you have to commit to it. You know what I mean? Like
That's right.
drinking
I
water
cannot.
is easy, but you actually have to commit to drinking the water. Um, but with commitment, you can I love that for you. Oh my God, that is so cool. So what else is there about this process or um the results that it has that you want to talk about? Like genes, you made it sound very non-scientific, which is great because not all of us are scientific people. I get very into like spirituality and energy moving and everything. I can talk for hours about that, but if someone was like, you don't have the right protein enzyme in your blood, I'd be like, what?
Yeah.
Protein, meat? You want me to eat more meat? And they're like, no, that's not what that means. I'd be like, oh,
Yeah, I mean, it's making it tangible, right? And as you said, I just want to share a story with you. I have a client with MS, one of those. And one day she actually told me, "Oh, I never told you my hair doesn't grow." And I'm like, "Why didn't you tell me?" And she goes like, "I didn't think that was important." I'm like, "Yes, it is very important. You're not producing enough collagen." And we looked at her whole family, her whole family. I have this whole family mapped out, the whole family. I looked at her daughter. And her daughter is 19, and her daughter, she had acne, and then she had kind of a bit of scars all over her face that didn't heal.
mhm,
And I looked at her and I'm like, guess what? You have the same gene as your mom. You are not producing enough collagen.
mhm,
Let's get you into intaking of collagen and using collagen topically. And I promised her September last year, I promised her when I left her house, because I went all the way to Montreal to see them. I promised her, I said, your face will be clean. Guess what? Her face is clean. Not only that, collagen is very important for the nerves, for the myelin sheath. So whatever's happening with the daughter that we can see on the face is happening inside my friend's MS. Not only that, we are preventing her daughter from getting it in the first place. So to me, this is it. It's like, I'm in awe with what I'm seeing. I'm in awe with what DNA is actually doing for people.
mhm.
You know, it's really giving people that hope, like, and stop worrying about, oh, as you said, oh, I'm gonna be blind. No, you're not. Guess what? You're not going to be blind. There's
Yeah.
many ways to actually prevent macular degeneration. Doesn't matter if you have the gene,
Mhm.
you know. What about diabetes? Diabetes, it's a lot of lifestyle that you need to change to
Mhm.
avoid getting it. Just because your father had it doesn't mean you will have it, right?
Yeah.
So, how do we work on this individuality? Because there's nothing as individual as your own genes.
Mhm. Yeah.
There's millions of genes. Like, which genes do you actually choose? Well, we choose 70 genes. Why? Because these 70 genes, imagine that they are like the ones that will turn on the match for the fire.
Oh, yep.
But if I don't turn on the match, I work with these 70 genes. The other million up here are not going to be turned on, and they're not turned on. So that is the beautiful thing about it. You know, if I can work with the collagen for these people, that means the others are not turned on, even if you have them.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's peace of mind that even if it's in your genes, does not need to be expressed.
Yeah, and it's being empowered to see it a different way and to be aware of the possibility. Like you said, just because your parent has it doesn't mean you have to have it. Just because it's in like your bloodline going down doesn't mean that everyone has to have it. You can sign up for a different life. You just have to commit to doing things like you said
Yes.
with diabetes. You just have to change your lifestyle, and that is something that like with me and the doctor's always saying like you have pre-diabetes, and my entire family was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I'm like, yeah, but it stops there. I'm not no. And they're like, you can't make that happen. I'm like, watch me. Like, that's the thing. It's this idea of like, you can't do this. Watch me. Like, there's no reason to suffer and like sign up for your suffering when there is a clear way to make it better. And you just have to be willing, like we said, to commit to it. Because sometimes it's eating, less sugar or something, with diabetes. Sometimes it's eating, my eye doctor said more leafy greens. And I'm like, okay, here's the thing. For all the listeners out there, all the followers out there, if someone said you were going to go blind, how horrifying is that? Like, that's terrifying. That removes a great amount of your independence. And if someone said all you have to do is eat one salad a day, I don't care if it's covered in Caesar dressing. I do not care if you wrap it around gummy bears, but you have to eat one nutrient dense leafy green salad a day. And that'll be one of the things that just switches it so that the match doesn't get lit, right? I feel like everyone would say yes to that. They'd be like, oh yeah, I'll choke down a salad a day if it'll keep my eyes. It's like, so just eat the salad. Like,
I know. And it's learning how to eat. It's learning how to live the same way as our ancestors lived. You know, get rid of everything, all the toxicity that's in the world. You know, not only the physical toxicity in food or anything like that, as you said, also your thoughts, the environment that you live in, all of the electronics. It's like, when do we take a break from our brain? How often you actually go for a walk and connect with nature? It's simple things, but you just need to be committed, as you said, to do them. Because I tell my clients, I cannot do it for you. I cannot eat for you. I cannot move for you. I cannot hydrate for you. I cannot poop for you. So you're going to have to do the work. Are you ready? Because if you're not committed, it doesn't work.
mm-hmm.
But making it simpler, making it a step by step. It's very tiny little steps that you implement every week, one at a time.
Yes. And I always tell my clients, I can show you the way. I can give you and teach you how to use the tools that you will need, but you still have to take the steps forward and use the tools.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot puppet you, into existence. And I think that's with most life-changing experiences that people, the misconception is that us coaches, us gurus, us thought leaders, that, oh, you'll do it for me. It's like, oh no, I will cheerlead you every step of the way. I will give you the tools, but you have to use them. You have to change your life. And a lot of people aren't willing to. And I always look at them and go, how is that not the most empowering thing ever? You're in charge of your life? Oh, yes. I don't want anyone or anything to be in charge of my life but me. I don't want an illness. I don't want a person. I don't want a government, a society, a culture, nothing. It's like, you're telling me that all I have to do is love myself enough? Bet. Done. Fabulous.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. You need to take care of yourself and you need to take control of your own life and your own health. Yes or yes. There's no way around it.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. There's no way around it. There's no cheat code. Some of this stuff takes a while. Like you said, it's step by step. And
Yeah.
there's no one magic step. Like
No.
all the steps make it something. But if you commit to it, like you can have a fabulous life and it can look so much differently than what it looks now or how it could have looked in 10 years. And just how is that not hopeful? How is that not happy? Like just how is that not awesome?
It's awesome, Libby. It's awesome. You know, people look at me and, you know, I don't do anything really to my hair, nothing, you know, sure enough, I have gray hair. I'm 63 years old, but I feel like I'm 30 years old. I have so much energy, so much mental energy. I don't change that for the world.
Yes, exactly. I am in my mid to late 30s and everyone's like, you look so young. And I'm like, self-care, baby. Like if you
Yes.
actually take care of yourself, you will. What's the fountain of youth? Self-care. What's the fountain of youth? Loving yourself enough to make your life into what it needs to be to serve you. Like that's what it is. Because during the intro with Kimberly Crow, she said, okay, I gotta tell everyone Lily looks really young. Please don't think that Lily is young. And I was like, oh, thank you. And it was, oh no, because everyone still thinks like I look like I'm in my 20s, which is a great compliment. Thank you.
You do.
But, you know, like, no, been doing this for years and stuff. And it's, what's your secret? I'm sure you get that too. Like, I feel like I'm in my 30s. What's your secret? This is the secret sauce. Let me teach you, you know, you're willing to teach it.
Yeah. Yeah. Just take care of yourself. That's it. I agree.
And it'll just make everything better. So before we sign off, are there any final comments or pearls of wisdom do you have for the listeners?
You are in control of your health and your life. Nobody else is, and nobody else will be able to change that.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I love that. And so thank you so much for joining us and doing all this spectacular work and just, oh, yes, 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 yes. And thank you for not making it so scientific that I couldn't follow. I do appreciate that. As a non-sciencey person, when you were like, in biology, I was like, oh, I'm going to suck at this. And then you're like, oh, let me explain it to you in a way. And I'm like, yes, thank you. I can do that. I can do that. That is wonderful. So thank you so much for that. To our listeners, is there a way for them to get in touch with you in case they want to do your program? Is there a website or email that we can direct them to?
Yes, definitely. It's we are at imbalancelm.com/gene reset, and you'll be able to get in touch with me or with my business partner, have a talk with us, you know, tell them you're coming from Lily, of course. And, you know, we're actually going to have a free event coming up, a challenge sometime at the end of March. And you're welcome to just come and test and see what you think about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. And is it a virtual event or an in-person event?
It's a virtual event. I do this in 2 languages, English and Spanish. So it's all virtual. I'm everywhere in the world. What can I say?
I love it. Fabulous. Fabulous. Oh, that is wonderful. To all the listeners and followers, like and subscribe if you would like to see more of this. Make sure that you like this if you found it entertaining or useful or inspirational. And then if you have questions, bop them in the comments. We are here to help, and we want to make sure that you're living your best life and that you find your own fountain of youth through taking care of yourself.
Excellent. Thank you, Lily.
Thank you for joining us. Have a great day, everybody.